of it. Every drop, every taste on the tip of my tongue. Bend my nail, bite my thumb. Evidence won't clear my name. Baby, in your presence will be so forever. Until the moment when I press my eyes shut. Now I'm ready. I'll do anything. I'm not asking this is mine through the perfect strings. 10,000 days on the line. Days won't clear our names. Oh, baby, it's our last kiss. Will last forever. That's the moment when I rest my eyes shut.
Welcome, everybody, to I'll Hang Up and Listen, brought to you by the place where I witnessed that disaster of a hockey game tonight, Fatty Beer Company, Western New York's premier market and tap room, with over 300 beers to choose from, 7 different Western New York locations. Make sure you check out Fatty Beer, wherever your local Fatty Beer may be. Both kid and dog friendly, live bands and entertainment, trivia all the time. At the Lancaster location today, they had Tim Britt live, which was a blast. Definitely, helped mute or, drain or whatever the proper terminology is. Helped you ignore what was going on the TV tonight at the bar in terms of the Buffalo Sabres, because that was possibly one of the more embarrassing showings of the season, and that says a lot because we have quite a few of those already. And then, of course, Buffalo Logo Apparel Company, Buffalo's best spot for your Bills, Sabres, Bisons, Bandits, all of your, apparel needs for your Buffalo's favorite Buffalo sports teams. They'll support a lot of local businesses too, whether you're a restaurant or any other business. Buffalo Logo's got you. Make sure you check them out at Buffalo Logo Co. on both Twitter and Instagram, and, of course, buffalogo.co.com. Just a lot to choose from. Normally I'm wearing it in a post-game show, but the NHL Shield, the Buffalo NHL Shield hat, one of my favorites. And, of course, the Stefan 316 shirt. So much stuff to choose from. Make sure you go check them out. Those handles, again, on Instagram and Twitter are at Fatty Beer and, of course, at Buffalo Logo Co. And you'll always check out my handle, too, at Duane S39, at Two Goalies on Mike. We're always showing support for our our sponsors, first-time sponsors for the show. So go check them out. Sabres lose 6-2. At what point are we going to start talking about the coach? It's getting to the point for me where it's how often can you just vomit, word vomit, the same stuff to the media about slow starts, coming out more ready to play, this, that, and the other. It's just the same bullshit every game, the same shit every game. Down 3-0, down 4-0, down 5-0. Then you finally score 5-1 to start the third period. They come make 6-1, then you make it 6-2. It's just at what point do you start pointing the finger where it should be pointed? What's going on behind the bench? Like, do I foresee them firing Don Granato? No, maybe that's not the answer. But for God's sakes, that staff is so inexperienced and so unqualified to be there. Like, let's just be weird. Christie, Wilford, Ellis, like, it's trash. And we've said it so many times on this show already. You let a guy like Mike Peca leave your organization, had all of the experience you needed to justify putting him behind an NHL bench. A couple of years in Rochester, a year of development with the Capitals, all of that time running the Junior Sabres organization. Like, he had the experience and the know-how, and he's the type of guy that would have helped a lot of players on this bench. Like, we see a guy like Dylan Cousins who's been struggling a lot this season. Just imagine what a guy like Mike Peca could be saying to him on the during practice or on the bench after a bad shift. Like, that type of knowledge and experience is invaluable. And he's a 2-time Selke Trophy winner, and instead we chose Matt Ellis. Matt Ellis, like, I get it. You don't have to be like you don't have to have a phenomenal NHL career to be a great coach. Like, I totally agree with that. But what has Matt Ellis shown behind an NHL bench as an assistant that really says, like, wow, man, this guy is invaluable to this organization? Like, for fuck's sakes, like there's nothing but lose with him there. So, like, I get it. He's buddies with the GM. Like, I understand that. Like, he was coaching 13U. The guy was coaching 13U. Obviously, he's not the top problem, but, like, something's got to be changed behind that bench and on this team. You know, Mike Harrington tweeted it out earlier about like, things that might need to change, some type of shakeup. Like, yeah, dude, like, this kind of lays at the GM's feet. He did his job about securing the core of this team. He did his job with getting these guys on very team-friendly deals that have a future in this league. And now it's time to shake something up. Like, how can you watch this product on the ice, Kevin Adams, and think, wow, man, like, we're heading in the right direction? No, we're not. This isn't the right direction. This is dog shit. This is terrible. Another game where we can point to the effort as being one of the top 3 reasons you lost tonight. And I don't want to look and hear about analytics or like that. Like, that effort was fucking dog shit. Dog shit. With, in all caps lock, dog shit. It's a dog shit effort. Like, again, a game where you lose in the neutral zone, you're losing board battles, you lose below the dots on both sides of the ice. I show some passion out there. Like, Rod Brindamore losing his fucking mind when they called that double minor, which led to a partial 5-on-3 power play, which the Sabres did nothing with. Showed zero chemistry out there. Showed zero play with zero desperation. And you see him losing his mind on the bench, like, visibly just probably dropping F-bomb left and right. Where's that passion on our bench? Not from the coach, from the fucking players. Like, for fuck's sakes, man. Like, it's just so, like, I don't know. Can we really point to a single player tonight? And, like, man, he had a positive impact on the game. Like, without looking at the numbers, like, Clifton, like, back in the lineup, had a big hit on Nikas, like, in the first period. He had that fight at the very end of the game. Like, do we say to him, like, he played like he gave a shit tonight? Like, even Darlene looked out of sorts, man. Like, can't have this. Just can't. Like, I know the theme, at least from the GM and the coaches, weren't playoffs or bust this season. But to the fans, like, yeah, we expected playoffs this year. This is not a playoff team. This is far from a playoff team. This is like, we're looking at a top 10 pick kind of team. Again, I don't want to go through that again. Do you guys want to go through that again? I don't want to go through that again. I want to compete for the playoffs. This is not a playoff-ready team. Even with Tage. Like, something's got to give. Somebody should lose their job. I'm not calling for Granato's head, even though, like, on Twitter I kind of did. But, like, something's got to change on that staff because nothing is working right now. Nothing. And all the question marks about the goaltending, I don't want to hear a damn thing about goaltending because that's not why we lost tonight. We lost tonight for zero effort, not being prepared, and Dylan Cousins said it in his post-game interview. Just soft. They were soft. They played soft. They constantly play soft. And he flat out admitted that. Like, yeah, we don't look like the same team we were last year. I'm going to go through the comments. Brian Koziel, always tweeting out post-game comments from the players and coaches. I'll run through them right now real quick. You guys give me a moment. Let's see here. There we go. From Brian Koziel. Always on top of those things. Let's see here. Comrie says his performance wasn't good enough. He felt like he let the team down. No, dude, the team let you down tonight, bud. Team let you down tonight. You're not the reason they lost. I just don't see how anyone could look at that game and think, yeah, that's Eric Comrie's fault. I just refuse to be that guy. People call me biased with the goalies. No, that's not on Eric Comrie. Not a shot. Let's see here. Cousins, I think we definitely played way too soft. We need to get a little FU in our game. We get bullied and stuff. We are way too easy to play against right now. Cousins says the answers to their problems are in the room, but says they haven't found it yet. We don't know. We don't have our offensive swagger we had last year. No shit. No shit, Dylan Cousins. And you're a big part of that problem right now. You are so lost right now. It's not even funny. Like, talk about a night and day different player from what he was last year that got him this big contract, because you are far from the player that we saw last year, the 30-plus goal scorer, a guy that we probably put around 80 or more points this season. Like, he's the top of my list about the issues this year, right along with just the lack of awareness in the defensive zone, the coaching. Like, Dylan Cousins is way up there, for sure. More from Cousins. We find ourselves a lot to start games. It's tough to chase like that. I'm assuming he meant we find ourselves behind a lot to start games. Yeah. It's a common occurrence and it's inexcusable. And while, the coach isn't out there playing, that goes back to the coaching, having your team prepared, having them focused. Like, I'm sick and tired of hearing like you got to start benching guys mid-game. You have to start benching guys mid-game. You have to start sending messages. I am done with thinking about what this might do to morale, what this might do to, the attitude of certain players in that team. You got to start benching guys mid-game. You have to. When efforts like that are going on, you have to start sending messages as a coach, as a coaching staff. You have to start benching guys mid-game. I don't care who it is anymore. I don't care if it's Darlene. I don't care if it's Power. I don't care if it's Samuelson. I don't care if it's Skinner. I don't care if it's Tuck. I don't care, because a message has to be sent. Healthy scratching guys like Olafson or Jost or even Ryan Johnson, who, I know he had a bad game, but I don't think there are other guys that deserve to be scratched or benched before him. Like, you have to start sending messages as a coach. Like, something has to give. That's what good coaches do. I'm so sick of hearing about hurting players' feelings. Oh no. What if you hurt his attitude? What if he gets pissy? Who cares? Who cares? If being benched for a couple shifts in the second or third period makes a player pissy and affects their game negatively, then get the fuck off my team. You have a much bigger problem on your team than just like the effort on the ice. Because if that's the attitude your players are going to have when getting benched for a few minutes after a bad shift, or for a few shifts after a bad shift, or after multiple bad shifts, like we've seen constantly throughout up and down this lineup, then you have a much bigger problem. And the coaching, all the coaches have to go then. Like, I'm not asking for a Tortorella type coach, even though I think he would help. But at what point do you start saying, like, when you start sending messages, a message has to be sent. And I think that starts by not just putting guys in the press box, but benching guys mid-game. That's my opinion on the matter. So I don't know. I can't anymore. I'm gonna throw some more quotes from Brian Koziel. Don Granato on what to do next. You keep pushing. It's the consistency in this. It's the consistency. It's in spurts. You're missing guys. Shut up about missing guys. I am sorry. Missing guys has nothing to do with effort. Nothing to do with effort. Shut up. Shut up, Donnie Meatballs. Shut up. This missing Tage Thompson, missing Jack Quinn, who you knew you were going to miss to begin with to start the season, and Jordan Greenway has nothing to do with effort. Has nothing to do with playing like you have a pair and play like you have heart out there every single game. Jesus, no, absolutely not. Don't start talking about injuries. Screw off with that. You're missing guys. It's an opportunity for guys to step up. There's plenty of incentive for guys in the room. Okay, the second half of the quote, sure. I can get behind that. Injuries create opportunity. But let's not point fingers at injuries here. Because injuries don't lead to negative effort, bad efforts, piss poor efforts. No, I won't have that. Not a shot. More from Granato. We certainly needed to compete harder. We knew it was a tough building, tough team, and we didn't come out with a high enough compete level. Yeah, that's again on the coach. Wow. That's on you, Donnie. It's on the players. It's on you too. Like, I don't know, man. Like, at this point, it's going to have to be, you have to start sending messages. You got to start sitting guys that are important to your lineup. And I don't care who it is. Nobody should be safe. Nobody. I don't care whose jersey you got at home. Nobody should be safe from being benched for either an entire game or for a few shifts. Like, I've always been a big advocate of in-game benching when it's warranted. And I don't think there's a single guy on this team tonight that wouldn't have warranted, having to sit for a couple. Just my opinion. We're going to hit the peanut gallery here because you guys are nipping at the bit to get in here. From Dylan Baker, this team is horrible. From Gargalette, Byro was baby poo soft. Why was he the call-up? Give Murray a turn. I'm not against bringing up Murray. Like, that guy will play hard and give you jam and give you grit. Something this team desperately needs. I know the analytics people don't like those buzzwords, but they need it. They desperately need it. They don't have it. And it will go a long way because playing with some jam and some grit and some, with a little bit of violence, like it will, I forget the word I'm looking for. It will affect the rest of your lineup. It'll permeate through the rest of your lineup. Just like after when you're trying to create a spark in a team by me fighting a guy, like that stuff can happen, whether it's a big hit, playing like an asshole in front of the net, being a little violent, yeah, Brett Murray would bring that for you. Absolutely. Darlene was his usual tough. Let me see. Granato should be calling guys out in that post game, say some names and say they need to step up and fill in for those injured. To the point earlier, like when injuries happen, it should create opportunity. In my opinion, like after what we've seen on this road trip, I don't think anybody's safe from being sat. I really don't. Like nobody. Like, you got to start sending big-time messages throughout this lineup that are going to permeate with every single guy in that locker room. To the point, too, where you have to make a move. If you're Kevin Adams, that sends a message, too. And it ain't sending Olofsson out, man. Like, just get over that. Like, whether you like it or not, Olofsson's actually been one of the better forwards for them the past couple of weeks, which is insane to even think. Like, and it's true. Like, I just... a guy's playing with desperation out there. You need more players to play like Olofsson in the sense that playing with desperation, playing with integrity, playing with intensity, playing like your job's in the line. If everybody up in the lineup plays like that, you're going to win hockey games. And they're not playing like that. They're not playing with a purpose like the way Olofsson does. It's just, you can say you want, you can point at analytics, whatever, however you want to. Victor Olofsson right now is playing like his job is on the line. He is. At least before tonight, he has been. So for me, yeah, that guy, you need to start playing with desperation. 100%. From Kevin, when will the suffering end? Sabres have allowed 7, 6, and 6 goals against their last 3 in their last 3 losses. Yeah, that's inexcusable. And I don't want to hear about goaltending. Yeah, I'm sure there are a few soft goals here and there, but defensively and team defense has been at the top of their issues all season long, right next to scoring goals. Obviously you can't win if you can't score, but you have to be able to defend as a team, and they just don't. They don't do it well. When you can't score, you have to defend, and they're not a good defensive hockey team. It's pathetic. Doug Clock, from the looks of the score of the game, I'm glad I had to work tonight and missed it. Yeah, I mean, I wish I missed it too. It's terrible. From Donald, we need action now. Make some moves, Adams. Come on. Yeah, I wouldn't be against a shake-up type of move. You can only depend on your youth and your development for so long. Not every one of these guys are going to be on your team. I'm sorry, they're not all part of the long-term solution. You have way too much young talent in your pipeline. Whether you're trading one of those young players to bring in a true role maker. Here's what I like to talk about. So I'm a big Boston Red Sox fan, people who know me. After, I forget what year it was, maybe some people in the chat remember, but there was a big scandal in the clubhouse in Boston involving Josh Beckett, players drinking in the clubhouse during games, this, that, and the other. And they shook up the roster that offseason. They got Beckett off the roster. They got, I think it was Adrian Gonzalez got him off the roster. Not that he was part of the problem, but they went out and they got a bunch of role players, guys like Napoli and Johnny Gomes, big time role players, not guys who are going to hit it out of the park every night or go out there and have over 80, 90, 100 RBIs a season, but guys who are going to play a big role on your team and rub off positively every single. That's what this team needs. They need more role players. Not saying guys like Eric Johnson don't contribute anything, because you can find a good role player who's going to contribute offensively, pop in 15 to 20 goals a season for you. But what he's going to give you is invaluable in leadership, and it's just not there right now, dude. Are we really going to sit here and look at Kyle Okposo as the invaluable asset and leader he's been? Dude, look at the performance they gave him on the night of his 1,000th game. It was embarrassing. Half the arena was empty. It was terrible. So, that's the type of move I want to see. I want to see a shake-up move that's going to bring in a guy who's going to who's going to call somebody out on the bench when they're playing like an asshole. That's what I want. Get me a Johnny Gomes. Like that year in the Red Sox. And they won the World Series that year. The year of the Boston Marathon, bombing. They won that. I mean, all that stuff, they kind of brought them together, not to make this baseball analogy, but those players, those role players, and what happened, it brought that team and that city together, and they won the World Series. And all those players on that team, they will tell you, they will point to those moves made in the offseason as a big reason why they turned it around from not making the playoffs at all to winning the World Series and being the best team in baseball. That's what this team needs. Some role players, some guys that are going to go out there, again, chip in offensively, give you 45, 50 points, but at the end of the day are going to give you a valuable asset to the makeup of your team, that in your locker room, that are going to hold people accountable, because who's doing that right now? If you were to ask anybody, what guy on this team is holding anybody accountable on a nightly basis, a player, who is it? Who? Oh, wait. I mean, the chat have a good idea? Who? I don't know. Because players are everyone's afraid to hurt people's feelings. This game has gotten so soft. I'm just so sick of it. I don't know. From Colin Smith, Okposo was trash. Greavy was trash. Power play is trash. Assistants have to go. Eric Johnson needs assists. Comrie is work. Again, I'm not putting this on Comrie tonight. Like, I'm just not. I won't do it. I won't put the last game on UPL. I won't put this on Comrie tonight. I just won't. They look like shit in front of him. Like, you would have needed Vasilevsky to have a chance to win this game tonight. You would have. Like, Vasilevsky might even not win you this game tonight. Let's be real. Like, Shesterkin might not win the Sabres this game tonight. No matter who you're in that, you would have need a Hasek-esque performance to get a win tonight with how bad they played in front of their goaltender tonight, in front of Comrie. That's just my opinion. Also from Colin Smith, I don't think Granato is the issue. Do I think he's the main issue? No, but he is an issue. Like you just can't keep regurgitating the same rhetoric after every single loss and just expect things to change. Like, I'm not in the locker room. I'm not out there in practice to see how he reacts to efforts like this. But this is inexcusable. It's inexcusable. The Sabres need a different style, fourth line with some grit and some defensive style guys on the third. I mean, I don't disagree with you, man. I'm over. I know Gergensons isn't playing. He's on IR, but I'm just over Okposo, man. I'm over it. Like, we're not going to get anywhere with Kyle Okposo on this team. We're just not. He's too slow. Like, we could talk about vocal leaders. I don't know how much of a vocal leader he has been or he is. But, like, clearly whatever he's saying or doing is not rubbing off positively on this team on a night in, night out basis. Coach and GM just had extensions. More likely assistants get skins. Yeah, that's where you start at least. From Michael Meyer, letting Pekka walk this summer and not bringing him up was a big mistake. Yep, said it when it happened. Said it when he went with Laviette to New York. Big mistake by the Sabres there. Huge mistake. What, because he's not part of the boys club? What, because he might be a disruptor? Because he'd be the type of guy that would hold guys accountable? He might try and hurt some feelings? Like, I'm sorry, man. Like, that style of hockey, I hate it, that style of coaching. It's so soft. So soft. So over it, man. Like, you see an effort like that, dude, you should be throwing garbage cans. You should. I don't know. Like I don't know. Like, I like to think, like, how would have Lindy reacted back in, like, 05, 06 if his team came out and had a game, like, two games in a row like this? Like, how would have Lindy reacted? Whether you liked him or you hated him or, you know, I know he's evolved with the times now with New Jersey. He's doing really well. But back then, like, how would have he reacted to this? Like, because I'm sure it would be night and day different from whatever Granato and that coaching staff is doing. I thought I told you to take tonight off, like the Sabres. Yeah, I mean, listen, this is like my Sabres therapy here at doing this post-game show with you guys because it is brutal. Coaching staff is a joke from Robert Seagrave. Players are regressing. Power play is shit. Coaching hasn't been good, clearly. Yeah, I agree with all of that. Benson looks like the only one that's trying. Yeah, Benson didn't have a bad game. I mean, they lost 6-2, so nobody really had a good game, but I wouldn't say Benson had a outrageously bad game. Guy's an animal on the boards. His ability to protect the puck is one of the best of the team. So I love Benson. I love him every game. From Gargalot, have you noticed that Pini or Riv on After the Whistle absolutely never praise Bang on 13? You, Matt Ellis. I wonder why. Yeah, listen, I've had the conversations with Andrew. He's a friend. I what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? You're not in the good old boys club, right? Like, it's embarrassing. It really is. The young guys on the team and in the pipeline are not cutting it. Trade a few for some vet. Like, that's what they need. They need veteran role players on this team. Like, they just do. I don't know, man. I don't know what I wouldn't give for, like, I don't know, a Blake Coleman, or I don't know how well. I mean, I think he signed with Calgary a couple off seasons ago, but like guys like that, guys that are role players that are going to play with some edge, play with some grit. Man, I don't know. I'm over this. I'm over this. I dedicated so much of my time to this team. All my free time. Like, here I am. It's 11:01 at night, and here just ranting about the Sabres game that ended almost 2 hours ago. I I don't know how much more I can do this. From the Black Knight 7657, laughable. From Kevin, playoff team, no way. Bottom 5 more likely. You're not wrong, Kevin. That's things keep going. You're looking at a lottery team again. Comrie did whiff on a couple straight on clear looks at pucks. Still not winning or losing because of him, but he could have been better. Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying that Comrie was great tonight. He wasn't, but like I'm certainly not pointing my finger at him as the reason why we lost. You didn't score till the third period. You were down 5-0 going into the third period. No way. Like I'm not putting that on Comrie. Be better. Be a better team. Show up from the very start of the game. Donnie is milk toast as high coach. 100% Casper without the crust. I like that analogy, I think. From Chris Durek, this all starts at the top. 1, owner is a ghost. 2, GM seems to be oblivious to everything that is happening right now. 3, Granato and this entire staff refuse to change a thing. 4, players have no fight. I mean, those are all valid points. I mean, I won't say, again, like, I'm not ready to place blame. I mean, yeah. Not enough was done in the offseason. That's clear as day. Kevin has assembled a core of players, locked up his valuable pieces, the team-friendly deals, and he has set this team up for success in the future. But in the now and putting players around these young players that are going to show them the way. How many playoff players do you have on this team right now outside of Eric Johnson and Connor Clifton? Like how many cumulative playoff games do you have on this entire roster right now? You just can't depend on your drafted players for a team that hasn't sniffed the playoffs in over a decade and just think that's good enough. You need to bring in experienced players who know what it takes to win. It just can't be Eric Johnson. You need more of that up and down your lineup, man. And I should take a look at that. How many playoff games do you have collectively on this roster right now? Because you might be able to count, like, if not including Eric Johnson, who's won a cup, you could probably count those games on like one hand, one or at most 2 hands. It's embarrassing. It's embarrassing. Adams isn't oblivious, living in a fantasy. Yeah, like now this lies at the feet of Kevin Adams. What are you going to do? Are you going to continue to allow this team to spiral like this? Play one good game, have 2 or 3 bad ones, one or 2 good games, 2 or 3 bad ones, because it's not going to get you to the playoffs. Like, if you're going to back up all the stuff you said in the offseason, then you have to do something. Like, a shakeup is needed right now on this team. I don't know what it is or who it is, but you need to start bringing in role players. We already saw that one. Let's see. We got some more comments down here. You guys are fired up just like me. Do you think they can even overtake the crappy Lightning? I mean, here's the thing, though. Like, the Lightning, once they have Vasilevsky back, they could be a contender again. They could be. Even though their players are kind of aging, they still have enough talent, experience that team to be a player in the playoffs. And once they have Vasilevsky back at 100% health, like they're a player again, in my opinion. More from Dow. I should learn not to get excited during the offseason so the inevitable disappointment doesn't hurt as hard. Yeah, it's just it sucks. From Gar, mistake on Zadorov too. Yeah, not getting Zadorov, that's a head scratcher for me. Because you can look at this blue line and it hasn't been good enough in the defensive zone. That's a guy that gives you a lot of the intangibles that you desperately need, especially on your blue line. The grit and the jam and just being tough to play against. Zadorov gives you that, man. He does. You know, people are on notice when Nikita Zadorov's on the ice. They're aware when he's out there. You look over your shoulder when you're shagging a puck, either behind the opponent's net, because you know Nikita might be coming to take your head off. When you're in front of the opposing goaltender, like, and you know you're aware that Zadorov's out there because you know he's going to give you a few hacks. You know he's not just going to let you have free reign in front of his net. That's the edge he plays with, and that I just don't understand. Maybe you did make a call. Maybe he doesn't want to be here. Rather go play back and rush. I don't know. But like that for me is a head scratcher because that guy wanted out. It only cost Vancouver a third and a fifth. And Vancouver, a team who has been in a very similar spot as we have for the past few years, that's a team serious about winning because they're showing that the things they've been doing, the development has been working, and they go out and they're going out and getting players to help them in the now rather than just waiting for guys in the future. Pekka was let go because he would have upstaged Granato on behind the bench. I don't disagree with that. I don't. Brock Besser was available for peanuts, and GMK said, nah, mistake. Like, yeah, I was a big Brock Besser guy. I wanted Brock. I thought he would have definitely been very valuable on this team. Ogbozo guy is slow as shit. Yeah, 100% agree. It's slow in the foot. He's the John Beebe of this team. Without the inspirational speech between the second and third period in the big game. I hope somebody knows that reference. Shout out Mr. Alaska. Krebs is miscast because of poor roster management. He's going to get moved and excel somewhere else. I 100% agree with that. I really do. Hey, Casey finally shot the puck and it went in. How about that? Yeah. Again, a guy who he needs to shoot more. Me and Connor have talked about on the show, a guy who doesn't shoot enough. He has a great shot, great release. He should use it more. From Doug, I believe that was the 2012 Red Sox. That's when they blew the division in the lost series against the Orioles, if I remember right. They had like a 13-game lead on the wild card and blew it. That's what I remember. I remember when they were like officially eliminated from the playoffs. I want to say that against the Orioles, but they could have still made it had the Yankees won later that night, and they laid down. They did. The Yankees rested pretty much everybody, and they lost, and the Red Sox were eliminated. But again, that offseason, they went out, got guys like Napoli and Johnny Gomes, guys who contributed immensely. There were a few other guys in this, too. I can't remember the roster offhand, but just role players, man, who are going to contribute, in hockey terms, like give you like 12, 15 goals, 40, 50 points, but they're going to give you some invaluable intangibles in the locker room and on the bench. Guys who hold people accountable, who love winning, who hate losing. Not to quote Shorzy, but the guys don't want it. You have to hate losing more than you want to win. Like the thought of losing has to make you want to vomit. And I just don't see that on this team right now. I don't. Sucks. More from Robert Seagrave. Sabres not physical enough in their own end. Yeah, they're not. From Gar, I think Skinner's been played a little entitled. He's taking shifts off. I think everybody was taking shifts off tonight, so it was hard to really tell if he was playing entitled or not. Roster has a chemistry problem. They need a couple more players with grit and jam. Yep, I couldn't agree with you more. From Kevin Greenway, heard again, is this guy a Brittle, a Samuelson? I don't know the extent of the details behind that injury, but definitely sucks because I've liked him a lot this season. And Z would have helped OP learn how to use his size. Yes, 100%. You don't need Owen Power to be a violent defenseman, play with that big of an edge, but learn how to use your size and enforce your will, impose your will on other players is something that Owen Power needs to learn to do more, for sure. Just want to remind you all, this has been brought to you by Fatty Beer Company, Buffalo's premier market and tap room. 7 different Western New York locations and over 300 beers on tap. If you feel like drowning your sorrows over an ice cool frosty one, get over any one of the 7 Fatty Beer locations. One of Western New York's only kid and dog friendly bars with live music and entertainment. It's just about every week at any one of their locations. They do a lot of cool stuff there, and they always have a dog treat for your dog on the bar, ready to go. Just go support who's ever behind the pine that particular night and tell them the boys from Two Goalies from Mike sent you. And, of course, Buffalo Logo Apparel. Buffalo's best spot for your Buffalo Sabres, Bills, Bandits, Bisons apparel needs, whether it's a dope-ass hat, some shirts, some hoodies. They have a lot of cool local designs. Very creative over there. Again, I mentioned at the top of the show, the NHL Shield hat that says Buff instead of NHL. One of my favorites. Normally I'm wearing it during the show. Don't have it on right now. I have my goat head hat on. That's the only way that could have made this game worse if they were wearing their goat head jerseys while getting pumped that bad. But make sure you go check them out at Buffalo Go. Go check out their new blue collar line and, of course, their collaboration with the Brother Bill. A lot of cool stuff coming out of Buffalo Go. The Slappin' Beachers Club shirts, the Have a Nice Day shirts from Brother Bill. Those are really cool. Go check them out on their Instagram page at Buffalo Go Co. On Twitter at Buffalo Go Co. Go follow at Brother Bill. Check it out, man. A lot of good stuff coming out of there for sure. When I get some graphics and videos, kind of give you guys some better ads so you can see what I'm talking about, I will. But definitely a lot of cool stuff from Buffalo Go, and of course, some great times always at Fatty Beer Company. From Car, have a cold one and let your blood pressure go down, Duane. Thanks for the hang. Always, absolutely. From S, too many young players in this lineup with no leaders. Couldn't agree with you guys more. Sometimes there's just too much youth. You need more veteran grit and jam. I'm going to start looking at that. I want to kind of look at players that might be available in the final year of their deals, might be looking, who aren't signed. I would just love to see who's available out there who might benefit from this team. Maybe we'll put together a list. We'll tweet it out, maybe talk on the next episode of Two Goalies, One Mike. But with that being said, guys, I got nothing left for you. I've been doing this for a little over 40 minutes now, and I'm going to get out my night, maybe eat some leftover pizza, watch some Christmas movies or something. I don't know, something better to take my mind off this. This has been, of course, another episode of I'll Hang Up and Listen, brought to you by Fatty Beer and Buffalo Go Apparel. With that being said, I'll hang up and listen, guys. Go Sabres. No Bills game tomorrow, thank God. Looking like a pretty bleak year for Buffalo sports as of right now. Sabres have an opportunity to turn this around 25 games in, but we'll see if they can do it. I'll talk to you guys later.
Different